Hey friends, it's Rylie. I'm a former gymnast and current cheerleader. If you actually want to be able to hold it, you should never start with a handstand that looks like this. I used to be terrible at handstands, but now I can easily hold it for over 30 seconds because of this method I'm about to teach you. First, this might be obvious, but working on your handstands puts a lot of pressure on your wrists, so properly warm them up by moving and stretching them. Now we are going to build strength and learn how to balance on our hands with 2 exercises. First, try what I like to call a TP. Kneel on the floor and place your hands shoulder width apart right in front of your knees. From there, straighten your legs into a downward dog position. Start to lean forward, which will likely pull you up onto your toes. The goal is to eventually hold most of your body weight in your arms and hands, using your feet mostly for balance. Next, if you can, try practicing your balance in a frog stand. Place your hands in front of you and then open to a wide squat. Lean forward and bend your elbows slightly. Allow them to fit in the crooks of your knees. When you feel secure, lean forward even more, then point your toes, which should allow you to now be balanced solely on your hands. Use this as an opportunity to practice shifting your weight and using your hands to keep you balanced. Next, let's break down proper technique and what each body part should be doing in a handstand. Starting with hands, place them shoulder width apart and spread your fingers wide. You do not want flat hands, but instead to look like you are gripping the floor with crunched fingertips. You also want the majority of your body weight and balance to be placed in your fingers, not back on your palms. As for your arms, keep these tight and straight. Moving on to shoulders, it is crucial that you keep them shrugged. Think like when you make this "I don't know" movement, you're pulling your shoulders up to your ears. In a handstand, this is what relaxed shoulders look like versus when they're shrugged. Again, here's an example of relaxed shoulders versus shrugged. For where your head is placed, tilt your head slightly up and look at your hands. You don't want to stick it out or even have a neutral head, but enough tilt to make direct eye contact with your fingers. Finally, we're going to talk about body and leg placement and learn about a stack, the key to a good handstand. If you have access to this, find a large elevated surface that is above knee and below hip level, like a mat or a bed. Kneel on the edge and lean over, placing your hands on the ground. Straighten your legs to a TP and find the point where your hips, shoulders, and hands are in a stacked line. Film yourself from the side to see if you hit this position. Here are a couple of examples of what a break in the stack line looks like. Notice how one or more pieces of my body sticks out from this line. When you are doing this stack correctly and feel like you are balanced without moving anything else, try lifting one leg at a time and balancing. Eventually, again not moving anything in the stack, try lifting the second leg and balancing, which may take some time and practice. Here's a visual example of how sensitive the stack is. If you watch this closely, you can see how I ever so slightly shifted my hips back, which ruined the stack and caused me to completely fall. It's easier to learn from the mat, but alternatively, you can also try this on a wall. Sit so that your feet are flat against the wall and your legs are straight. Mark where your hands are supposed to go by placing your fingers in line with where your butt is sitting. Climb up the wall and find your stack. Your hips and legs should be a little more open than a 90-degree angle. Again, practice bringing one leg off the wall. Notice my foot against the wall is pointed. When you have a good balance and feel like there's almost no weight against that foot, flex it. If you're in the correct stack, this should result in you holding a balanced handstand. When you're ready to take this off the wall, avoid kicking up from standing in a lunge because this is less controlled. Instead, I highly suggest starting with both hands on the ground and kicking up, which is much easier to help you find that stack. I also recommend continuing to hold from this slight split since it is just so much easier to balance and adjust from. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this really helps your handstands, and subscribe to stay tuned for more tutorials and gymnastics/tumbling related videos.